Hello, hi guys. Welcome to my channel. This is Upumzile Wagapatedi, the girl next door. So today I am going to be having a conversation with a beautiful couple, the Ramokgopas. So I chose today to have this talk with them because it's Valentine. It's the 14th of February. Yes, I know other people don't believe in Valentine's, but others do believe in it, or others they use it generally to show love and care, kuma loved ones, wabo, or couple or family and all that. So they use just February as a month of love, just a month that reminds everybody else around them, Oguti, this is how they feel about them, and they will show it with either a small gift or a small act of service or something that they do just to say, hey, remember that I love you. I know I can show it, I can tell you every day or any other day, but I'm going to use this day to just show you. So I thought it will be the best day to talk to a couple today. So join me as I'm going to be speaking to the Ramokgopa. So guys, thank you everybody who has subscribed. I'm hoping to reach 100 soon. I have 90 subscribers. I am humbled by that. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Please continue to share the channel with others and follow or other people that I've already spoken to. And yes, please continue, like please shine the light on their lives as I'm doing the same on my side. So yes, hit the button and just a like, just click and subscribe. Don't just like and not subscribe when you view a video. Don't just like it without, if you haven't subscribed, please do. And then you can also hit the notification button so that when we upload a video, you are able to be notified. Yes, so thank you. Join me. I'm waiting. So we're gonna have a Zoom call. Thank you. I'm excited. Hello, 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 guys.
Hi, hi. Good, and you?
Good. Oh, wow. Happy Valentine's month. Happy Valentine's Day, because different people for in different strokes. No, it's a month or a day or a weekend, but happy everything love in the month of love.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. We hope it's a lifetime, not just a day.
Sounds like I'm getting into trouble already.
Already, and this is why I chose today to have a conversations with the Ramokgopas, because as you saying, I hope it's a lifetime. I think with conversations with Upumzile, why I do what I do is I get inspired by different people in different walks of life. Others is entrepreneurship, others is academics and all that, and yours actually is love. So I'm
Honored and humbled
inspired.
at the same time.
Speechless on top of it.
So this is the reason why. So it has to be a lifetime, because from what I've seen, I know Gerald like, over 17, no, 25 years
It's
actually.
actually 25 years.
Actually, yes. And then I got to know you, and I cried when I got a wedding invitation, and I was so embarrassed because I was at the event at Sentin Convention Center, So knowing you, we will talk about things like, love, emotions and all that. But he didn't tell me that, I met somebody, I met the one, I'm moving on. So it will be just general, kids, life, and being out of the country, missing the side. So he then surprised me with the invitation. Did I not cry? I cried my heart out. I was very happy.
Well, at least you're not the only one. Trust me. I know there are a couple of people who cried for different reasons.
For different reasons. So my reason was, I think it was happiness, because one, the way the invitation was done said it all. It set the tone for me. I just saw love, and I just saw so much more. So guys, how many years have you been married?
6 and something.
6 and something.
6
6 years. 6 years.
It can be and a half.
6 years and 4 months.
Can't
6
see
years
and
and
half.
4.
I'm trying to
Wow.
figure out the other month.
Look at how many. So it's like the 5 years done, dusted, fully.
No,
You
done
know
and
how,
dusted. 6 done and dusted. We are into year
We are
7
going
now.
to 7.
and going to 10. You know how they do anniversaries? They say if you've met and
Yeah.
reached 5, you must know Guti. That 5 years nishugegile and all was done. So guys, what is it that is working for you guys when it comes to love and marriage?
Wow. Okay. God is working.
Okay.
Yeah, that's I think that's the only thing we're sure
Yeah.
of.
God is working.
Yeah.
When we started, to be honest truth,
Yeah.
we didn't know what we were doing.
Wow.
We still look at each other even now and then tell each other, we are crazy. And then tell other people, don't do what we do and don't do what we did. It may not work for you.
Oh wow.
Remember, I do relationship coaching and couples coaching, and
Okay.
trust me, the opening line, the disclaimer is, don't do what we do.
Unless if you are sure of what you are doing.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And I don't think, just don't.
So if I hear you guys correctly, do you mean as in people must not do you as in like the Ramokgopas, or they must not enter into marriage when they don't know what they want or what they are doing?
Everything
A
that
little
you just said.
bit of both, because look, the Ramokgopas are unique.
Yeah.
The Mkizes are unique. The Dlaminis are unique. The whoever's are unique.
Yeah.
There's a lot that happens behind the scenes that one never gets to see.
Yeah.
And there's a friend of hers, actually a sister to a friend of hers, says what we normally see are symptoms out there of the main problem. You know, it's a mix of good and bad behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But when you're out there, people get to see the result. You know, when you bake a cake, there's sugar, there's salt, there's flour, all on their own.
Yeah.
You can't enjoy them. But message is hanging all is, finished product, then everybody goes, wow.
Wow. So all I am seeing most of the time, I think then is the cake, because I stalk you guys. I stalk you everywhere.
I
WhatsApp
know.
statuses.
WhatsApp
Facebook.
status, you're the first, if not the third.
So the reason why, when you stalk people, it's because there's something that you see, like as you are saying, it's the cake. There's a lot that we are doing right. The way you display love, let me go kakulu more on like Facebook, which is social media, because you are seen by people who also don't know you. So what I've seen is all the time in all your pictures, there is no single picture. Before I was doing this, I had to go back and I just want to see maybe one picture of Omunye Ale. All the time, your positions, it's always one head like that. There is no picture exactly. Be it at the restaurant, be it you are talking, you are always close to each other, holding hands. So I see that. So today I wanted to go into, the 5 love languages. Love is a language. So when you see it, like for me, I see a lot of physical touch that happens. You can tell this is a couple that is in love. That's okay. I can see these people are in love. When you go, I don't know if you've seen this, when you go to the restaurant, you can see when a couple is not in a good space, how they're sitting and how they are talking. You can see. So those are the kind of things that I have looked. And when I met you again, when I was invited to come say hi and meet you, the first thing is the glow and so what is it? How did you get to understand your own love languages? Yes, there are 5. Maybe you can take me through. I saw Upapaji pointing out the physical touch, the intimacy part is Mamogolo out there. So what are your individual love languages, and do you know each other's love languages?
Phew. Look, the touchy-feely thing is all hers. Me, I'm more the vocal, expressive kind of,
Okay.
person. Um,
He married an introvert. You can just imagine his frustration at times.
Oh,
no, actually, I'm not frustrated because now I'm an introvert too. I've become as a social recluse kind of person. But I think it's partly because we are growing into each other.
okay.
Like now, um, she's now more of your friend than me. She is now more Zaza's friend than me. She's more Kate's friend than me. I get left out of conversations, and
Wow. When
when
she
I met
loves, she
her,
loves.
exactly. But when I met her,
Yeah.
literally, when I met her, which was over around 2000, if I'm not wrong, 2001.
Okay.
Yeah, around 2001. Now, that actually brings us to my first wife, my
Okay.
late wife.
Yeah.
My late wife and her younger brother,
Yeah.
they knew her before we got to know each other.
Oh, okay.
So she was more like a younger sister to them.
Okay.
And when we started, we had a ministry group. When we started the group, we would travel around, visit Lesotho, Botswana, and do all ministerial stuff. And that's where I got to meet her. She was still studying in college, nursing college, and she was supposed to sing at my first wedding.
Oh,
And she
wow.
didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, she didn't. She didn't show up. Absent without leave. She went AWOL.
No, I had to go to class for some convenient reason. My
So
lecturer
You can
in the
bank.
class
You can
was
bank
Sunday.
class. You
On
can bank
Sunday.
class, please, for a wedding.
I love that.
Jeez.
I love that. No,
So
it was a divine intervention.
yeah. So we kind of then adopted each other as big brother, big sister, little sister, big brother kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I got to know the kind of personality she was. And
She was.
me outgoing, shining, and all of that. And in fact, that's where my passion for relationship coaching started, because she would come to me with her problems with boyfriend, what, and and then skip forward. Life happened. My first wife passed away, and when she passed away, before she passed away, she actually says to me, "Look, I need you to promise me something. I need you to promise that if I should die, you get married, you remarry. Don't be that guy who sulks and mourns and grieves for years on end."
Wow.
And she was very manipulative with that one, because she actually blackmailed me into marrying quickly.
Oh, wow.
Said to me, "You know what? Through the 11 years of marriage, you've given me such love. I don't want to take it to the grave. So promise me you'll give that love to somebody else, because there's somebody else out there who needs this kind of love." And I actually asked her, "Look, you're giving me a long list. Somebody's going to take care of your kids. Somebody's going to do that. Somebody who's going to be spiritual. Somebody who's going to make sure the kids still have contact with your parents, blah, blah, blah."
Yeah.
Woman,
that's a long list.
What's in the drip that they're giving you,
Yes.
Then she said, no. Look, I know you. If you make a promise, you'll do everything to keep it.
Wow.
So just say it. Promise me.
That you will do it.
Mina, I'm going to pray. My wife was a very prayerful woman. She says, I'll pray. And the day you see her, the day you meet her,
You will know.
you'll know. Now, at that time, we hadn't seen each other for 4 years, 4 or 5 years, 4 or 5 years. Because even for my late wife's funeral, she couldn't make it. She was on duty, you know.
Yes. I love this divine. You're not supposed to be there because you're gonna be there forever. But anyway, yes.
Yeah, you know. So, long story short, a couple of months down the line, things started happening. You know, started getting texts and WhatsApp chats from different ladies. You know,
Yes. Now
I
you're
actually
available.
realized, you know, I'm available and I'm hot property here. Very flattering.
I like
very
that.
flattering. Very flattering. But none of them seemed to be the right kind of
The
person.
eligible.
Disclaimer,
Yeah.
it wasn't me.
She wasn't in the picture. One evening, I was sitting on.
Wait a bit. How long do we have for the session?
Actually, we have I think until 9:05. You know how these
9:09. Okay, what time is it?
No, we're good.
I think we're gonna do part 2. We'll do part 2. Don't worry. So
I love this.
one of those days when, you know, I was having one of my moments. I didn't want to spend time, you know, the grieving process basically. I then decided I'm going to visit. I was supposed to go to church, and I decided, you know what, I'm not going to my local church. I'm going to visit another church where nobody really knows me, and they're not going to be pestering me. How are the kids? How are you feeling? Shame, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I crossed the border into Lesotho, went to a missionary hospital that's got a church there.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, she's there. Wow. And she just happened to be preaching that day.
Oh, wow.
It was youth day and she was the youth leader. So I get there and I'm all excited. She's all excited to see me. I bump into a couple of friends, you know, we're hanging out. And I mean, we haven't seen each other for 4 years. Imagine the excitement. And yeah, we got there and she was telling me how nervous she is. And I said, look, let's go pray together. Don't worry, I'll keep praying for you. You've got this.
Yeah.
She goes onto the pulpit, starts preaching. And as I'm sitting there praying, I'm not even paying attention to the sermon.
Yes.
This is until probably 2/3 down.
Yeah.
Through the sermon.
It was very short, by the way.
Yeah, it was a short sermon. You know, never tension kind of thing. You know?
Yes.
Now, I realized then that she was actually preaching the first sermon that I'd heard my previous wife preach. Almost like note for note, word for word. Wow. It was like they were sharing notes. And in closing the sermon, she then decides to sing. Oh, and she sings a hymn that my late wife used to sing after I preached when I was ready to make an altar call.
Wow.
And I looked at her and I'm like, nah.
That's this. It can be.
Nah.
So
that's my little sister.
So would you say this was one of those moments where it's like a direct instruction where when I say you will know, you will know?
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, it kind of looks like it, but no. So I don't want to believe this. You know?
The package was odd.
Yeah, I can see everything. It's falling into place, but no.
Yeah.
Then after the sermon, we had lunch, hung around with friends, and then it was time for me to go home.
Yes.
Got into the car. And for some reason, I think I blacked out. But as I drove off, because she had walked me to my car, then I said something to the effect that you know what? I've got plans for the future, and I see you as part of the plan. And I'm like, wait a minute, what did I just say?
And Debu, what are you thinking at that time?
That thing.
Yeah, so that was that. And then
I was puzzled.
You were just puzzled. So you know him,
Yeah.
you've seen him, but nothing is happening, no attraction. It's just the guy that you know, and that's it. Wow.
now we
Okay.
had reconnected. We started talking.
Yeah.
We'd have our conversations, call each other, vibers, whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah. And she was going through a bad relationship at the time.
Okay.
His loss, my gain. Sorry, I didn't say that. Come on. You didn't hear that. And I was sitting there almost every day, long calls, trying to sort this thing out,
Yeah.
No, he's done this and that and that. I'm saying,
He actually fought for him.
Oh wow. So at that time, you are not in love, you just saw the signs
No.
and that was that. But there's no
saw the signs and
nothing.
I ignored them. I denied.
You were like, my wife was just saying hi. My late wife was just saying hi.
Yeah, my late wife is it's a sense of humor. She was just playing around.
Yes.
That relationship kind of went on for a while, and it was stressing her out. And I remember, yeah, well, we're not talking about that. I mean, then
I love you guys.
Eventually, she was telling me, "Nah, I've had enough.
I'm done." Yeah.
And then I said to her, "Look, this guy's messing up, and he doesn't know what he's losing out on.
Yeah.
The day you decide or he decides to end this, I'm gonna come out here and propose to you." And we laughed about it, and that was that. Few days, weeks later.
You were joking, or it was just one of those? It's a conversation.
It's one of those things that came out.
Okay.
A few weeks later, she calls me. We're having our conversations. She's looking at what's Facebook pictures and stuff, and she actually catches this guy's profile with another lady.
Oh.
And she calls me, directs me to the profile. We look at it and we're talking, and I'm like, "No, man, it could be a friend, could be nah." There's a lot going on here. Because I've made up my mind, it's over.
Okay.
Over, okay. Then she told him. She said, text message or something. But somehow she told him, and then she told me, "Look, it's over. I've ended it."
After a long week of prayer.
Yeah. Then I got into my car, drove up to her, and I went on one knee and asked her to marry me.
I'm having goosebumps.
Why?
What? So no,
I told her,
like awushelinyana, just
no, sengimdala izinto zamashela lezi zimosha isikhathi, cut to the chase, So I got there and I told her, "Look, this is what is happening here. I am prepared, ready, and I need to go on."
Wow.
I never told her anything about falling in love and whatever. No, there was no love happening there. I needed a life partner, a mom for my kids.
That's interesting.
Wow. And I needed to know if she was up for the task. If you were, good. If you're not, okay.
It's okay.
But think about it. The ball is in your court.
Wow.
And then she looked into my eyes and she slapped me.
Really? I said, with the Ramokgopas, everything you will think is going this way. You guys are hilarious. This is what, like, yeah. What do you say? Men of God.
Yeah. Nice. Suka. Pah. I'm like, and then I remembered that's what happened with my first wife. The day I proposed, she slapped me.
Don't tell me.
So I left it with her and I said, look, we'll get into it. Don't rush yourself. Think about it. Pray about it. But Mina, I'm ready.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just want to hear from your side before Chiro continues.
Yeah,
like, no, I want to, there's this guy, it's confidante. You tell him everything, you talk to him about everything, your relationship whatsoever, and then all of a sudden you break up with somebody else, and then he comes and proposes. The slap, where did that come from? What was happening in your mind and heart at the time?
Violent.
Okay. It's yeah, that's how it went, and that's not how it went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It went that way and it didn't go that way.
Yeah.
Well, that's his version of the story.
Okay.
That's what he, the behind the scenes, my friend says, don't tell me about things I don't know. Okay. I'm commenting on what I see.
Oh, yes.
If I say your dress is beautiful, don't tell me how old it is.
Tell me
appreciate the fact
beautiful.
that it's beautiful.
Wow.
So that's what he was seeing.
Yeah.
So behind the scenes now, it was that particular relationship came to a point where it was more of a spiritual warfare.
Oh, okay.
Internally, the decisions I was making were not where I wanted to be with God.
Okay.
And it was more like a point where God was turning my life around.
Okay.
To focus more on Him, and the decisions I'm making should be guided by Him. So whatever, how when you're with God, you focus be one leg this side and
the other leg outside. Side. True, it's either you all in or not. Yeah.
Yes. And I had this task, youth leadership, which I was not prepared for. I was told actually, we need a youth leader and you are the person. And I tried to come up with this story and that excuse.
But I'm not ready.
Unfortunately, the person who appointed me on that position was buried last week. And it was one of my, last week was very heavy. Spiritually for me.
Condolences, sorry.
Yes. So, okay.
I'm with you.
Yeah, my network is bad, so I'm not sure where we are now.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
I'm just gonna go on and on.
I hear you.
So it came to a point where I was like, okay, dear God, here are these two people. There is that guy whom we've been together for 5
Okay, now the network is failing me as well on my side a little bit. Okay. Okay. Sorry, so I just lost the Ramokgopas, the story of love, the story of two individuals oddly met. So they will try and join me again. So yes, you were still here. So I was just saying that I lost you a bit and then now you are back on. Yes.
Okay, I don't know where we got cut, but anyway.
Yeah.
So I prayed after he said what the things that he said.
That he said, yeah.
Which basically the time I was in the serious valley of, I don't know whether it was decision or indecision. One of those moments where you wish someone would make decisions for you.
For you, okay.
And then so that if it doesn't work out, you have somebody to blame. So I prayed.
Yes.
I prayed. I've never prayed so hard in my life.
Wow.
Okay, dear God, here are these two people. I am on my journey to reconnecting with you the way that I think things should be done.
Wow.
Under your guidance. I am aware that the other part, it's leading me to compromise a lot.
Okay.
And this other part just got out of a
Sure.
just got out of a long-term relationship. Well, he did, yeah. She slept. Yeah, she slept. So he could be hurting.
Yes.
So
And
we
she could
actually
be
don't know
looking
what
for,
this is.
and she could be looking, he could be looking for replacement, as the list was, mommy for my kid,
Yeah.
somebody to love, somebody for this. And here you are.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Now I have to make a decision, and I don't want to be in a position where maybe that one is working out and I'm dropping it, or
And for this one.
I drop this one only to stay miserable that side.
Yeah.
Because my plea was, I'm tired of being miserable. Because there were a lot of factors that made me so with the other party. So
Sure.
I prayed. Now I said, I want to sign, praying for a sign, praying for a sign. No, I don't do that. That's
Yeah.
working.
I can hear you.
I'm going to pray for a sign now.
Sure.
If that one, and my
So, okay, I think I'm losing you a little bit from the part where you praying for the sign. So I'm not sure if you can hear me on your side. Okay. I am still chatting and chilling with the Ramokgopa's jealousy, connection, you know, these Zoom calls, the life now of virtual meetings and all that. These are the things that we get affected, but I'll try to get them online again so that we can continue this beautiful conversation, the story of love, the story of how two people met, and you know how when Gerald lost his love of his life, you know, the first wife, and then now looking for somebody else to, you know, continue when he was ready to, you know, love and continue. So we are still here, and
Okay.
Yes. So where I lost you a bit was from when you were praying for the sign, because now, like, this is, you don't know this way or that way, but now a sign must come.
yes, a sign had to come.
Yeah.
Now, it was a bit selfish, my sign, but God had to intervene by giving me my sign.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
so are we still there?
Yes, I see
Yeah.
you. I hear you. I see you. I hear you. So on my side, it's still clear. Yeah. So yeah, the network is really affecting us on the side, but we are continuing. We're gonna try, and let's see how this conversations go. Oh my goodness.
All right.
Okay, I
Trying.
can see you just connected or with the other phone. I can still
Yeah.
hear you clearly on
Trying
my
a
side
different
though.
network here. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you guys clearly still. Can you hear me clearly? Because I can hear you on my side. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I think if we don't win with the network, I will have to rearrange this continuous conversation. This will be my part one, and I'll make sure that I have part one and part two because the network is giving us issues. But I am here. I can still see you guys, and I can hear you a little bit that side. So I think the network is failing us. But can you hear me? Then we can set up maybe a second follow up to this one. Maybe the issue is the weather.
It's bad.
It's very bad. So I think I'm going to end it here because the network is very bad. So I'll just try and make sure that we go on to part two, and then I'll let them know on the other side that we will then set up another one. Guys, thank you so much for joining me with the Ramokgopas, the story of love, the story of how two beautiful people met. I have not even heard so much more, but I know there's a lot more that we're still going to talk about and cover. So thank you for joining me. And yeah, I'll try and make sure that part two comes immediately after this so that you don't miss this beautiful story. There's so much more to talk about, and there's so much more that I still have so many questions that I have not gone into. And I love the conversation, and I love how they are so willing to share their stories. So this is Conversations with Upumzile, and we're going to continue. So hello guys, welcome to Conversations with Ufumzile. Hey guys, technology and all that, I love it and hate it, but the reason why I love it today. So we had a first part of Conversations with the Ramokgopas, but your Zoom, yeah. So we are here today. They came to our mini studio, our love couch. So we are here. Welcome back. So how are you guys?
We're good.
COVID fight.
COVID fight. Ooh, guys. So, but COVID started 2020. So, causing around February, staying home, doing things together. That's your norm.
It's taking the norm to a different level.
Takes the norm to a different level, I tell you.
Okay. So, but what is the different level for you guys now? What has changed?
We've run out of things to talk about. So says Kulmang Abantu.
Okay.
We are battling with the secrets that are. So anybody who's got secrets,
We are
renovating our chests.
They even have the terms renovating the chest. So guys, thank you so much for joining me. So for February, I thought we will talk. I know it's the month of love, it's Valentine's Day when we had our first interview. But more than anything else, for people who've been married for so long, there's things that we tend to forget, like the love languages, to keep the fire burning and all that. But before we go to how do you do what you do better to keep this, like I always tell you, because you guys are always on the lovey-dovey. Every time I see you guys, and they're like, how do they do it? I mean, sometimes I look at the person like, no, I'm tired. Like, so there, or you buy something and then something doesn't happen for you. I'm struggling, but before, let's go back to the story of, we talked about how you met and talking about the late Kate and how she navigated. Okay. Simple. Raurata, you are here. Come back. We want you. You see, there's many of us. I'm in the picture, by the way, but this is not my story. I'll tell you. I am Mrs. Ramokgopa, the soul. So I call all us.
Official side dish.
Yes. I got the title.
Official side dish.
Yes. I got to tackle. So from that story of how you met, and you got to the point whereby now the big proposal, which when you did it, that's on the other side you got a nice slap,
Yeah.
and you got it again. Which for me, when I was listening to the interview again, I was laughing and thinking, how it's so beautiful, because I think after the step he was thinking, okay, confirmed, she's the one. She is the one. So go ahead now. From that, um, no, our Shela, then proposal. That process, I want us to go back to that process again. I think I was enjoying that before.
Which one? Where was I hyperventilating?
Yes. What is going on?
Before asking for the signs.
Where are we before asking for the sign?
Yes.
At the proposal.
Yeah, I think at the proposal, and you were like, okay, kikopa, sign, because kiyomhlolo. Mhlolo.
Oh, and by the way, Kasesotho.
Yeah.
Interesting you had to pick that term. Kasesotho, a widow wa kimhlolo.
Is it?
A widow kimhlolo hadi.
Oh.
So this is why I always tell her she mustn't die before me, because get our follow, you know.
Oh, oh, we learned something.
That will be the theme song.
Wow, that's deep. I love them. I love them. So we still here. This is why I love them. You know the beds. We back there. The sign.
Okay, so I hyperventilated. Anyway, by the time he left, I had said yes, but because he had said umpanako
Okay. To decide.
to decide,
Okay.
Lena I said yes. We made a disclaimer at the beginning of this.
Yeah.
But we didn't know what we are doing. We
Yes.
don't know what we are doing, but
We're doing it.
We're still figuring it out.
So he left, and I was like, okay, dear God. Actually, it was before the proposal. The sign was before the proposal.
Okay.
Before I broke up with
Oh,
the other
yes.
guy,
Yes.
where now I was seeing, well, he had just said, the day you break up with him. Oh, another disclaimer, he's not a bad person, that one.
Okay.
He's not a bad person.
Yes.
Yeah, let's.
It was just a
everybody-
relationship.
He's not a bad person. Yeah.
Yeah. It just
And
didn't work.
I don't carry hard feelings about
Yeah.
it.
It
As
just
much as I
didn't work.
can. It just didn't work.
I hear you.
It had factors
Yeah.
that,
We're not speaking to you.
yeah, I think I suppressed them for a long time until they just couldn't be suppressed, until they just passed out, and I had to pay attention to them. So I had to pack my emotional bag and
Okay. It was so.
yeah.
So, but I love what you are saying now about the disclaimer, Guti. The person is not a bad person.
No,
but
it's not.
sometimes people forget, Guti. You get involved. Sometimes you separate, not because the person is bad, but your
Things
lives
don't
at the
work.
thing,
No.
your lives at the
Something is
time,
not.
Yeah.
your
something-
emotions, your being,
No.
adikobani.
Hey.
I'm glad.
Yeah. You know, when you discover, like, okay, so like I was saying, that it was a time when I was reconnecting to God, and there were things that I was feeling. For me to be in a position, this position with my God, I have to let go. Yes, and part of those things were with Him and with other things. So you know, God comes first.
Yes.
Yeah. So He was still his own religious person, but there's this verse that says, "Do not be unequally yoked."
Okay.
Unequally yoked. Yeah, do not be unequally yoked.
Okay.
Now, people tend to think, most of the people tend to think, I used to think the same,
Okay.
that being unequally yoked is umugosto like msawata,
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
By one. And we grew up with that mentality, Umopostola Msawata, that's unequally yoked. For me to be equally yoked, it has to be Msawata Emu. But I learned that actually it says you have to be spiritually at par. It doesn't matter whether
Religion is a different.
as long as Lily Mona. Because like our apostola le babedi, but
still.
abaya kwa emong abaya.
True.
Like our masabata le babedi, omong abaya kwa emong abaya.
True.
So
there has to be
there
that.
has to be, you have to
the
be
deeper spiritual.
Yeah, your
godly
connection.
connection.
Yes, your godly
That has
connection.
nothing to do with tradition, religion,
No.
education,
No.
everything else. But wow,
You
that's
have to
powerful.
be here.
Okay.
So that was some of the things I was discovering. Because my dad had said, he's from a different country.
Okay.
No, that's enough for me.
Okay.
But then in the process, that's where I learned that actually it's not enough for me. So it means then that verse that says do not be unequally yoked doesn't really link up. But with God, where are you? Are you both here? Kapa emong hulela emong tlase.
Yeah.
Or emo rather ba hulela hodimo, to be in the
Bring you
same line, same
Sure.
rather than
Yes.
I tell you hulela tlase.
Then it's not.
It's
not gonna work.
It's not gonna work. It doesn't matter or not. Or what, but it's not gonna work. So then in my discovery, then I said, okay, dear God, this guy, there's Jiro the site. We call him Joe. And can I use Joe to protect him?
Yes. We love Joe. We love Joe.
Yes,
the
he's a good
innocent.
person. He's a good person. So Joe.
No, in fact, he became Joe because I have a problem with names.
Okay.
So his name is not one of those, usual names.
Yeah.
Like,
You remember.
So I always forget his
Yeah.
name, and I would refer him to
Peters and
to
Joe's.
Joe.
Yeah, we talk about our exes and experience. So yeah, we're not offended.
I love it.
So
yeah.
Then I went to God and said, God, there's Jiro the site, and then there's Joe. We've been 5 years in with Joe, and it had its own things. It had its own unsatisfying parts.
Mm-hmm.
There's this side that has just come out of a long-term commitment. Lifetime
beyond
commitment. And it's just been a couple of months. I've known him for a long time, but as a brother, not as anything else. So I need a sign, and I made the most selfish request. If it is Joe, let it hold the ring.
Okay.
And it was a dry season.
Sure.
Wow. It was a dry season.
It was already favoring him,
So
there's a drought, and you say hold the
in
ring.
a way, I was then, hey, you know what? Okay, fine.
Yes.
Let me. It was dry, dry.
No. Let's clarify this. It was supposed to be the rainy season, but particularly that year, it was dry. Wasn't
I go. I want October is wrong. It's starting with the rain. That year.
Before, nothing.
So no rain, and if it's him, let it rain.
Conversations with Pumzile, Nisimfuleni. Let it rain! Oh, how I love when dots connect beautifully.
So
let it rain.
Then I think a week in. Oh, okay. I said let it rain. It was Sunday, I think, when I said let it rain, and then on Monday I woke up, it's cloudy.
How?
That was quick. And then during the day, the sun was out. I was like,
oh, okay. It's like We here. Let's see.
And then the week went on, cloudy, and then it goes. And then there's cloud over there, and then there's nothing. And towards the end of the week, I'm like, God, what am I doing? That was very selfish of me. Because of me, the rain is going to stop, and I don't know for how long. And I don't even know for how long is it going to convince me
Yeah.
that that is the response.
Oh yes.
Because I just said, hold it. And then I said, let it rain. I didn't give a timeline. I'm like, okay, that was selfish of me. But, you know.
But I need it.
Yeah, I need it.
I need
You know
that
better.
selfish sign.
Now, then on Saturday, I was the youth leader. Remember I told you that my youth leadership was just
Yes,
you are here.
No planning, no what. Like, hey.
So I was a youth leader then, and I organized the program for the youth in the afternoon. But I wasn't, something was just off about me that day.
Yeah.
So I was actually the assistant. I told them I won't be the leader, I will be the assistant. I want to help groom somebody.
Yeah. Okay.
So much as because the leader was a student, I told him that you're not going to be burdened. I'll do most of the work, but you are the face of this whole situation. So we worked like that, and then after school, then because he was one of my students anyway, during the day we are studying at school time, and then after school then we would come and discuss with the youth committee. We had people who used to help us with things, so they would come to my office and then we would discuss a way forward, a plan this weekend, and where are we with our plan. And it was a bit vibey, you know. It was rather nice. It was fun for the youth at the time. So some of our programs would go for the afternoon, and then would go for Vespers, and then come back, and then they would continue the games in the evening. So that day I just called, and I called him and said, you know what, I will give you whatever you need, whether it's the extension cord or what. But carry on with the program, So I'm just gonna chill at home. I don't wanna dull the vibe
because of the way you're feeling and the mood. Like,
so I just went to the
not for the
house,
space.
sat on my bed. It was past afternoon 2, and Joe starts a conversation, and we went on. And by 3, my emotions were really heated up. We were arguing about something, and I think it was the first time he actually noticed that something's not right. He even said, I don't like, I don't like you at all. Something is not right. I'm like, I don't think anything is off.
Yeah.
We are talking, and I am voicing this part that I'm not agreeing with. And it went on and on and on, arguing and arguing. The next thing, it's dark. I'm like,
Was a long
the next thing, it's dark. I look at the watch, it's 4. I'm like, where did the sun go?
So
I looked out the window, the very black cloud, the black clouds. It's coming.
But you can see that it's aggressive.
Yeah.
It's like it's telling you.
It's coming from the other side. Like, I can it's about the rain from Halilimona, rain from this direction is gonna hit here. That direction is gonna pass.
Yeah.
So I know, like, no, it's coming. Like, it's coming. And it's a very heavy.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. I paused the conversation, I ran to the wall. Check, guys, are you still fine?
Let me distract. Let me distract.
Are you okay? Well, I know we are fine. Actually, we are thinking of wrapping up because now the weather is changing.
The weather.
I go back, continue the
Changing
conversation.
the weather for everybody.
Changing the conversation. We are going back to the conversation. Still as if You know, heated via text. WhatsApp. Was it WhatsApp or Facebook? WhatsApp, I think. Heated, and then it started to drizzle. From drizzling, it went thundering. That's like, okay, this is weird.
Yeah.
It's a fight.
It's
the rain.
Double. We'll give you double.
Okay.
For when you doubt.
And then by 10, it's still raining. We are still fighting. And then he said, actually arguing. I don't really fight. I don't really know how to fight. So that texted argument. I guess I argue best when I text than when I speak.
When you speak.
So
Sounds
then we
familiar.
sleep. When in the morning, he's like, are you going to work? Because sometimes we go to work on Sunday to accumulate your days, like if you want a day off during the week or something. Because then I was studying going off, so I didn't have a study leave, so I would do that thing of going to work on Sunday to accumulate my days to go to school. So I'm like, yeah, I'm on duty, and he's like, okay, can we Skype? Can we log in with Skype? I'm like, yeah, it's fine. The following day, Sunday, it's still raining. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, still raining.
What?
I was like, okay, God, I can't argue with this.
Yeah.
I asked, you let it rain,
And not just for
things
one
are not
day.
getting better on
And
the
not
other side.
one day.
A whole week, and things are not getting better the other side. Each day that
You converse.
it's morning, we argue about something. It's not ending. It's not ending until I think 2 weeks later, when I said, you know what, I think it's time I go to seek for joy for my heart, because I'm literally miserable. There were other factors, they involve other people, so I won't talk about them. I'm miserable. I've been miserable, and I've been
not getting better.
making you aware, and you are not paying attention. So I think it's best that we go.
Yeah.
I can be happy for a day, but if I have joy in my heart, even when I'm sad, that joy will go away.
Yeah.
So I'm tired. I actually told him I'm tired of being miserable. And I miss my happy self.
Yeah.
And this is where
And I
go.
know that feeling.
And then he kept on saying, well, there were the cheating elements and all that, which he still vows even today that he never cheated. But anyway, that's a topic for
Another day. Yeah.
So, so then it rained. And then I didn't tell him, I think, also until a week or two later, that I had made this prayer. And this is what has happened. And then it has led me to sever ties with the other side. And then that's when he came down and then proposed and then slept.
We're like, we're still talking about my own sign and my own things. And then you come propose? No, I understand.
Came, went on one knee. That's when I said yes, and I think my friends and my sisters, we talk about things.
Yeah.
I don't have many friends. Yeah, I can count them.
Yeah.
That's how not many they are. Whom I told, who grilled me because I needed the grilling.
Yeah.
I needed the grilling. My sisters. Well, most people were actually happy that the other side has been served, because it was really, it made them sit on thorns. They were not comfy. Something was off for them.
Yeah.
And there were some other factors that we discovered after. I don't think Leah and I told him that, by the way, I discovered such a thing. Because I had vowed to one of the tellers.
Yeah.
not a teller, someone I went to inquire.
But we'll never,
How true would this be if, you know, and then they confirm.
Because you wanted that confirmation.
Yes.
You know, sometimes when you make a big decision about letting somebody go, you also want to be very sure and certain and comfortable with.
So,
I knew it.
So this like a couple of months later, I was talking to my friend, and he was like, you know what? The other day when we went to back at home and we were at church, and I met my homies and we were talking. They mentioned this. I'm like, really? And why didn't you say anything? It's like I didn't know where to start with it, but I started doing my own investigations because, well, this one is not just my friend, he's more like my mother's adopted son, so he's my brother in a way, spiritually adopted son, so he's like a brother in a way. So and then I called, I communicated with someone and asked if this were true, would you have told me? And then he was like, I thought you knew. I'm like, dude.
How?
It's like, no, I thought you knew. I'm like, how could I? You know, how could I even proceed if this part was still in existence? You know, so, but anyway.
With another good sign, locking the proper door, like, okay.
So I was not mad. So I was not mad. I was not paranoid. You know.
Yes.
Yeah. So then it rained. So almost every time after that, past our big decision or big plea, if you call it big or something, but if we had to make a decision or something and we pray about it, we don't ask for rain anymore. But somehow, some of the things, it comes.
But
it still rains.
Yes.
Wow. It still rains. Well, it doesn't rain a lot, but it still rains.
But it becomes that part of, I can identify. I love saying that because I can identify. My surname is Nisi, like Imvola, it's Tagazero set and all that. So when there's something very significant, I get it. The rain becomes that. So I can,
That's why I love the rain.
Wow.
Even though Eloise made things, but was written in the rain.
Sure, guys. So and then that was the sealing of this beginning of this union. Okay.
I think it was.
He proposed twice.
For us, it was more like for us it was more like personal confirmation. Yeah, it was for us a personal confirmation, not necessarily the sealing of everything. Because remember now, we know where we're going, we know where we want to go. But now, you have to convince everybody else.
Because there's family that you need to. They must be part of this.
I tell you,
it was
we're still not
journey.
in talking terms with a lot of people.
It was a journey and a half.
We're still not in talking terms with a whole lot of people.
And not because we don't want to talk to them.
Loving it, yes.
And it's not because we don't want to talk to them. They shut us out then. And still.
Wow. So tell
me.
They
required spaces. So I think they're still in their spaces.
And it's how many years down the line now?
7. It's going for 7.
It's going 8.
Yeah.
No, 7 married. 8
from the beginning of
the
years.
Wow. So would you say, because why I wanted to have these conversations with you, because I think it's been profound. Like I was saying that I've been following the story, knowing you for over 25 years. It's one of those things where I know you are big on things that make sense. Things that have a deeper rooted connection. So would you say to couples who are getting into relationships or like for marriage to do not ignore the bigger signs in your life, do not ignore that spiritual connection and just take the lovey-dovey, I love you, flowers, butterflies, weekends away and all that, to say come back to the spiritual ground? Because it's more like a base.
for me.
You know what? I think on the general, I'd say yes.
Okay.
But I always put on this disclaimer. People tend to think when you say spiritual,
Yeah.
you're talking God and everything, and
Yeah.
there are people who still have issues with God for whatever reason.
Yeah. Not
But I think it's more an issue of yourself being grounded and understanding yourself.
Yourself.
So
To
when
the
we talk,
soul core.
when we talk about spiritual,
Yeah,
to
soul
you it might
core.
not be
True.
the
same
same
as mine.
as what I'm talking about when I say spiritual.
I hear you.
But when you have to make decisions,
Yeah.
and we're talking life-changing decisions,
Yes.
you really have to get to the bottom of who you are, and don't do things on emotion.
Oh yes.
You know, the flowers and the whatever,
Yeah.
they play around with the emotion, the
Okay.
emotional part. The intimacy.
Yes.
I'm scared to use the other word.
Yes.
I don't know how. But I talk to to young people about it. But
we'll get there. We're coming.
The sexuality, the sexual part of
life.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
It is also a factor that messes up the stability
core.
of who you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Cool.
try as much as you can to remove all of that from the picture, because I can tell you the one tough decision we actually made before we got married. We, like, you see where we started,
Yeah.
and then we introduced the whole situation to her parents.
Okay.
Just to get that blessing, to see, look, we are trying this out. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. No expectations.
Okay.
And her parents were like, it's okay, we're not gonna.
Okay.
Then it was my family.
Okay.
Then after my family, I actually went to my late wife's family,
there's
the in-laws, and
Yes.
and everybody was like, look, the little that we know about her, she's a wonderful person. The family that she comes from, wonderful family. So if you think it might work, try it out. If it doesn't work, keep praying about it and all of that. So after that, we then said to ourselves, okay, part of the journey that we're going to take in the courtship is we're going to put the sex issue aside until, and this was the funny part.
Wow.
In our prayer, in our agreement, we said, God, help us. We're going to keep the physical part
Wow.
out of the relationship until we say I do. Hey.
Dude! Because it's not one, I understand the yay, because it's not one you were married before.
Exactly.
You had kids. It's not one whereby you preserve virginity and all that do I do
Exactly.
where
No.
you already done that on the previous. Now, dude.
And I like that.
And you know what you know.
Please
You know.
put a beep on that.
You know what you know. Wow.
So I remember after the Lobola negotiations, and her dad actually said after the Lobola negotiations, jokingly, he says, Munna, because this is what happens in Lesotho, where she comes from. We'll go through the Lobola negotiations. The families will go through the Lobola negotiations and agree, and then there'll be the exchange, right? In Komozokisha and all of that. And once that agreement has been made, it's written down, and then you go to the local chief.
Okay.
And then you say, Chief, here's the situation. Basically, it's traditional marriage.
Oh, yeah.
You go to the chief and you say, Chief,
the two families.
know that in your village, in your area,
these
two families have gotten together and they have agreed.
So there's that agreement.
Their children, so and so, are getting married, and everything has been settled.
So that is proper customary marriage. Proper.
Then, then the chief, like the representatives of my family sign, her family signs, the chief signs, and it stamps.
Wow.
That's legal binding. It's trust me, it even goes beyond your
Home Affairs.
your Home
Home
Affairs
Yeah,
certificate.
yeah.
So he comes up and brings, like, they'll have 2 copies, one for their family, one
And
for
one
their
for-
family, and then they give ours to my family. And I remember going to pick her up
Yeah.
to drive her back to work. And he says to me, with all the excitement, for the first time, he was like opening up to me. He was that
Like,
he's,
my
he's that
traditional-
strict traditional Musuti guy.
Wow.
He doesn't talk to the fiancé,
yeah.
boyfriend until
Oh,
Things
all
are
of those,
sorted.
But those are but those are the things that I feel, and I'm glad that I chose you guys for this topic, because for me, I believe that those things, they actually make marriages better, because you know what you know, good thing.
Yeah.
As a boyfriend, it means I must be right with the daughter.
Yeah.
And they make
Yeah,
it,
because he said
that.
he said to me, you know what, he's a good guy, and I like him,
Yeah,
but as a monna Mosotho,
yeah.
this situation now
No.
it's really making me uncomfortable. But if your hormone is then so we gave him that space.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
And
we
that
give him
also
that
shows
space.
the type of a husband that somebody would be. So his excitement.
So we are there, and he says to me, also mosadi kwa ha.
Nka motho wa hao
O ka nka motho wa hao tsamaya. Trust me, drove my mother-in-law crazy. No, tshwantse le ko kerekeng. Ya apara lesira, you know.
Oh yes.
And after he
Oh,
said
that's my
that,
pretty girl.
obviously, I mean, we were excited. We
Yeah.
both were excited. This part is done, because it had a lot of issues around it, with everybody.
As you're saying that it was another journey,
Yeah,
because
and
you have a relationship, but you need to have everybody else buying into it.
yeah,
Because it builds.
and we like all excited, and then we like, wait a minute, we still have about 6 months or 7 months
May,
of waiting.
June, July, August, September, October, 5.
Like, we still have 6 months of waiting. You know, when you have those conversations,
Yeah.
where you try and convince yourself.
Maybe mine it's okay.
Now it's okay, because
Step one. What big step one?
Your father has confirmed. The chief, here's the letter.
Contract.
So, like,
Like,
and we would have to say no.
But we
By
said
the way.
The covenant with God that we made was
we have to go
we
in front
of the
first.
pastor.
Yes,
And then you
because
start
now it's
saying,
a
yeah, but it's an
secondary-
issue of semantics, we're getting married. I mean, we are now the parents, everybody, but look, by God's grace, we made it. We made it to the 5th of October, and
To the 6th of October.
and then when everybody thought sparks are gonna fly on the 5th of October, we were so tired.
No.
We were so tired we couldn't. So he's kind of.
We'll plan for a proper honeymooning.
We'll sort that out.
Because the wedding and everything else can tire
Yeah.
you, because it's the whole planning and
You
family.
don't necessarily sleep on your wedding.
Wow.
No,
Yes.
pre-wedding nights.
And remember, like I say, in our case, we didn't have friends to be there for us.
Yeah.
Some family members were.
We okay, madam, to stay here,
Yeah, we
because
stay
we're
here.
not sure this is
And then
okay.
nothing.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
those who
So
are there, I mean, you can't exhaust people.
Yeah.
Because there were those who were there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And it was well, the situation came so hectic that we ended up saying,
Yeah.
we can't if it is something that we want, because
Condition, yeah.
condition
Yeah.
how.
Okay.
And
Or
I think.
if Warata as people
Yeah.
will be happy with us.
Yeah.
If you still have
Be
issues
it
that you
wrong,
don't
right
want
decision, we
that
make
you
it.
don't understand, we are here to explain, because the people who came, family members, friends, who said, hey, but what are you guys doing? Are you sure?
Yeah. So
Tell
what's-
me where it started, and
Yeah.
then we would relate, and to the end they would say, well, I'm convinced.
Yeah. So was it the big question of because Juro is a widow? Was it
Part
because
of it.
of
Part of it.
Because if you're two people meeting each other after you are not seeing anybody anymore, you made a decision, you're moving on, so you meet whoever. So
okay, when in life you have to accept this,
Yeah.
and it's something that I learned the hard way. In life, you attract certain people to you, and those people, when they get into your space, they feel they are part of you. Okay.
And they have their own entitlements.
They have, yeah, everybody's got their own entitlement. So at the end of the day, what happens is, remember, my relationship with my first wife was basically the same as my relationship with her.
Yeah.
We were together everywhere. We did everything together. We had our arguments and everything. We were
matching outfits and
together. We were together. Behave. And this then translated to the same circle of friends. You know, if I had a friend,
then
everybody is, you know.
Okay.
So with her passing away, people were still going through that grieving process. You know, and it was like, how could you? Some people felt that I'm betraying her memory. I mean, how can I? And literally too soon. That's what people were saying.
Actually came to him and said, why do you want to marry so soon while we are still grieving? We are not done grieving. Like, why are you moving on when we are still there?
Yeah.
As if the transaction and go.
Yeah.
You know?
And you can't move there whereby you have to be happy and smile and so when I'm like, no, we're still crying. We don't know how to be happy. Oh, goodness.
And we'll talk about it. That's a discussion for another time. You know, the grief process.
Yeah.
But literally, we since we were a couple, our circle of friends were other couples.
Oh yeah.
You know, we would go to trips together and whatever. The guys in our circle of friends, my late wife and I, we would sit and talk. At least some of them had the courage to come and say, and I would, you know, I would say, and I always say, there are people in my life who deserve answers to their questions. There are those people who, you know, either way, it's okay. If you're part of the, if you're not, you know, the family. I'll send you the picture. You see the one that I put on Facebook, family advocate.
Oh yes.
They called me. I drove all the way from the Free State. I sat in her house, and it was me and 6 women there, and they grilled me. They grilled me and grilled me and grilled me. And when they were done, they said, "You've got a blessing. Whatever you want to do, whatever help you need, pick up the phone."
Because we told you everything that we.
They hadn't met her.
Oh, okay.
It was so bad that some of the people closest to her had actually pulled back. Literally, Kate helped her pick her dress.
Oh wow.
The first time they met, they said to me, "Okay, you can't be helping your bride to get a dress."
Because the first time we were here, he was the one helping me pick the dress.
Oh my!
No, this is not madness. We can stand.
No, we're jumping in. Wow. So
Helen was the one who went around looking for the ties. We struggled to get the right color tie. Helen went around Joburg until she found the right color tie. You know, that kind of thing. But on one end, I remember there was actually a meeting that I heard of, where the ladies in that group, that group of friends that we did everything together, were called by a couple of the ladies who said to them, "Look, we are not supporting this wedding. We're not going to this wedding. None of us are going to the wedding.
Sure.
And then when the husbands said, hey, G said he's getting married on such and such, they were told, you are not going there. Like, what do you mean? No, you're not going there. You can't be going. You can't support that wedding and whatever.
Yeah.
I remember one of the guys who was a groomsman at my wedding.
Two of them.
Two of them actually, but this particular one.
I just know. I just love that you know the story before you said it. Isn't that love? Ah, yes.
So it's like I had to sit and counsel his wife. My friends. I have some friends who are hot-headed. I must say, I love them, but they're crazy. His wife said, like, she was in tears. She was very close. She was very close to my wife.
Yeah.
And she was saying to him, no, you can't. You can't be supporting this. How can your friend do this? At that time, I wasn't her friend. I wasn't her friend. I was his friend. You know, you must feel. So does it mean when I die, you're going to marry this quickly? And you know what his response was? He says, he actually took too long. If you die, I'm getting married the following week.
Wow.
And she was in tears. You know.
Wow. Sure.
That week they were not speaking to each other, and when I spoke to him, I found out there's tension there.
Then you had to
I had to, go
because
sit
you also
with him.
need him to be there fully, not half-half.
And I sat down and told her my full story. And after I told her my full story, the following morning, literally, they work in different places. So normally it's a weekend together and whatever. That following morning, she drove to where he works and stays.
Yeah.
Picked him up, took him to
get a suit.
To buy a suit. She bought the suit for him. Said, you're there, you know.
Wow.
But it's people like that. Like I say, till today, there's a lot of people who are
still not for the and the one, and you need those. I just make notes about the blessings where you went on the family blessing first before you go on, and you gave them yourselves. You didn't rush into this is what we want, you're gonna go with it. You patiently wanted that. Also, you moved to God's blessing with we can stop everything else physical only because we want you to, and then friends, your circles, because does that in marriage or relationship makes a difference where you have the circle of people that if things go, you have these people. Does it make sense? Does it help? Does it matter when there's issues? You can always go back to, hey, bra, bunzima, and they will cancel back to, we know where you were. You know why you made that decision. Keep at it.
I think it's not necessarily for them to be there. Ne?
Okay.
But it's always best to know who's in your corner.
Oh, okay.
It's always best to know
union.
who's in
your corner, both.
Both, yeah.
Not one.
Not one.
Okay.
Like who's with you. Wow. You know, you've got, because remember, and I think the other thing that made it a serious problem for us.
Yeah.
Some of these people went as far as spreading rumors, creating gossip. One of the most painful ones was the fact that somebody very close actually went around and started a rumor that I killed my late wife. I'm involved in the death. I was dating a nurse, and this was so calculated because it was somebody who knew me and who knew her.
Oh yeah.
She just spread a rumor that I am dating. I'm dating a nurse from the hospital where my wife was, and we poisoned her. We are even being investigated. So literally, and how did I get this story? Somebody who was close to me, somebody who to whom I was a spiritual counselor.
Yeah.
Just shut me out. Just shut me out. And when I went and I spoke to this person to say, look, she's an older lady. She was like a mother to me, but I was her spiritual.
And it's easy for people to believe that because when you are older and wiser, people think
whatever
comes from you.
Worse still, she owned a hair salon. So at the salon, remember Lesotho is a very small country. Maseru is, is worse. It's like your backyard here.
Yeah.
Everybody knows everything about everybody else. So people would go to her salon, and ladies being ladies.
Yeah, we talk about everything.
Yeah,
and
everything,
everything.
especially when they get under those hot things.
Yeah, like, wait, see.
So she would hear rumors and she would ignore them. She would hear rumors and ignore them, hear rumors and ignore them, because they were from people that she didn't know. And some of them were talking third, fourth person. So, yeah, I've heard there's a guy so and so is this.
So it's like it's not here.
They're not there. But when she heard this from a person who was so close to me, like, that everybody thought she was my sister, it killed her. Yeah, because she loved my wife.
Rumors may be spread, but I don't win.
If somebody hears something about me out there, it's one thing. But if they hear it from Pumzi, it's like
25 years, like no, then we stay together, and it should, it should be the truth.
So that's basically one of the things that kind of
that hindered.
Yeah. And one way, she didn't even want to tell me who she heard it from, but I figured it out.
So this is
journalism
101.
Went around, spread a few tidbits, and decided, okay, if I hear this, I know this is the person who. So that was the painful part. That was the struggle that we had.
So would you say, like, because that is so deep,
the way that we connected the dots, where I was at school in Bloem after working at Quintuke in Esake. I went to school in Bloem, so people knew that I was in Bloem. So that's where the dots,
the connection was.
So during this time, unfortunately, my mom kept on calling me. That time I had a week in Bloem, but I never went to the hospital. For some reason, I never went.
Like you didn't make it to the wedding even before. You didn't make it.
I never went to the hospital, so I even went back and I could like, you know what? I was pressed with time and studying. Those weeks where you get everything with the test at the end. So time. And then she was like, okay, no, it's fine. Anyway, so people did not know that I was actually back in the country, but working somewhere else. My profile on Facebook still said I was in Bloem. So habare ojola le nese ya Bloemfontein.
Okay. Sure. So in such things, it means relationships can be tested. Marriage can be tested so badly, because that accusation is painful and it's deep. And it doesn't only cut here, it cuts the family, the kids. There's too many people emotionally involved in this.
The in-laws, know, that I had to go and get blessings from.
Sure. And how did you try to, like, how did you move on from that? How do you, like, okay, they will see us, they will think, and also protecting her, or you, like, they would, like, how did it make?
Okay, there's a simple way that I do it.
I don't even know how to ask it.
There's a simple way that I do it. I always say, I actually told her this. I sat her down. I said, you know what? Gossip, rumors, it's like little fires. Okay? If you have 20 fires going in a closed space, because the closed space, think of it, it's your friends, relations, acquaintances and all that. It's like a closed kind of environment, a warehouse, let's put it that way. If you have 20 little fires going, you'll have a problem controlling them, keeping them in control. If a fire sparks there and there, you struggle.
I get it.
because at the time I think we were keeping it low key, not even on Facebook. I remember at the time, if you look at my wall, remember I have two accounts.
Yes.
If you look at my accounts, I would post a rose there and say something, whatever. Because her name is Rose, her middle name is Rose. Okay, one of her middle names. It's got too many names.
Oh, guys, this is match made in heaven. Not this. Remember, I'm official here. Many names. Like, how many names that this girl has?
So I would do that, and even the messages, the posts that I put, they'll be cryptic. People who knew
will know.
The rest will be like, oh, that sounds so sweet, you know. Then I said to her, look, with your permission, I want to put out all the fires.
Yeah.
Put out all the little fires and make one big fire. Now the fire that I'm making, I'm in control.
Yeah.
I'm in control. I control the narrative. It's my bonfire. The good thing about it is, because it's in a closed space, if I build this huge fire, it's going to suck the oxygen out of the air and deprive the little fires. They're going to die, and everybody's going to focus here.
Yeah.
And that's where I want.
And then you're ready
everybody
to put
then I can
put off your fire. Nice.
And she agreed.
Wow.
Little did she know what she was
agreeing to.
But there I was. First place I went, the group of friends. Because remember, some of them were not sure. They kind of doubted and thought, yeah, she might be, she might not be. I bombshell sent out an invitation to the whole group. Facebook put her as profile picture.
Okay, come back.
There's a Sesotho phrase. You say Njengban.
Yeah.
You know, it's used in battle.
Oh,
you know, when you're surrounded by enemies and you like say, okay,
bring it
on, do or die. If I die, I die.
Yeah.
You know, so
whichever dog you
put her on the thingy.
Wow.
Put a photo of her wearing the ring and said Njemban.
This is it.
And then now everybody who thought they had the platform came direct. Because obviously every time they were like asking from you know, so my phone kind of got lit up.
Wow.
What's going on? What does it look like?
But you had to take that ownership to say, now I'm owning it, and this is what it is.
This is what
and this is my truth, and I'm here for it. Here it is.
Who, you know, and some did call, one or two did call, one or two did visit to say how what happened. And I remember the questionnaire,
yes.
You know, I quickly answered it and said, look, to you, it's Kapi. And this is where I was saying the issue of dealing with grief and loss. It's going to affect people differently. And I would ask them and say, you know what? Think about it. You guys always invite me to go out on outings.
And couplings.
When we go out on outings, what happens there? It's couples. How do I fit in as a single guy with all of the couple? Because we go out, book chalets. We've got four rooms, 4 bedrooms there.
Remember that? I want to move from South Africa and come there. There's nice coupling life here.
You know,
no, I want to come there.
If it's after the meetings, we have discussions, and after the discussions, everybody. Then
so would you guys, maybe from your side, would you say it's because this misconceptions, because women, when our other husbands, when they pass on, women make the choice sometimes to not get married again and live it, and it's been a norm in our black culture where most women wouldn't. And people now are used to the idea that when somebody passes on and you are married, then it means you shouldn't move on, you shouldn't get married. Because I know normally guys would, but women it's a personal choice. It's not even the. I'll find one. I'll need to speak to one who can tell me why are you not married again after this. But do you think it stems from them more?
I think it's both personal and societal.
Societal.
Personal, you'd still have some attachments to the past person that you don't want to let go.
Okay.
Societal, forever. Kasi Sesotho, ho thwe monna ke mokopu wa nama.
Okay.
Like mokopu the
pumpkin
plant.
Oh,
it
yes,
goes,
it goes. Yeah.
goes.
The
If
green.
you plant it next to the fence there,
It goes. It can even
goes
go
next door.
over the fence. Why?
Yeah.
And then ebe ere mosadi ke cabbage wa ipopa.
Okay.
Even in marriage, ka Sesotho sa kgale kapa sa hona tje, I don't know, but whoever came up with that phrase was drilling it into the heads of a monna is okay. But mosadi.
Oh wow.
If one of his branches
go the other
grows
side,
next door,
it's normal.
it's okay.
Yeah,
let it grow there.
All of those
the
things
neighbors
that you
will
get
have.
to be told, you know.
Yes.
Yeah. You know,
and all that. You sit there, cabbage.
So
you
Amakasako
must go like this.
I think that's why it even affects the after losing the spouse, where some women would still feel
they need to stay there. So it's not
until family decides
like it's okay.
It's okay.
Or help you to
because some families would even come and say, Pumzilo Salmanyana, you can go. Yes. Only then do they feel it's okay for me to move on.
No, but, I hear you.
But from that, like when I married him, when I said yes, when we started this thing, I knew that he has just lost his wife.
Yeah.
I knew there were children. So I would have what my decision was saying, I know what he's gonna be missing their wife.
Yeah.
He's gonna be crying. He's gonna be
the
kids will be talking about their mother. I mean, it was for long. So I am saying I will live with that. This is what people are actually saying. Just that for some reason, honali this demonanyana la denial where you think you'll change the situation, you will not change the situation. You came into this marriage,
yeah.
You came to this marriage, you cannot wake up in the morning and decide whether these children are gone. They will not go anywhere.
Yeah.
If you decide to marry a widower, a divorcee, there were wives, there were wives before you, there were children before you. Your direction that you are choosing now should be inclusive
of that.
Emotionally, mentally, and otherwise.
And not plan to
replace
anything.
You are not a replacement. You are not a replacement. The kids said, Mama Tebu, would you be our mommy? Guys, do you not understand what that means? Lads, I can mami po. Haritwani. I can replace it. I'll come with my own rules. I'll come with that. Is that okay? As me. I'm not going to be a junior mamampo. That's not going to happen. We are different people.
Wow.
They said, no, it's fine. We understand. At the age of 5 and 8.
Yeah.
6 and 9.
Wow.
I was like, okay, then if that's... Because someone was like, okay, how do you still have the picture sample in the house? I'm like, dear guy.
Yes.
Dear guy. Her wedding pictures. The other day, Kufumana to stay on, and I'm like,
I nearly got into trouble.
Yeah.
What like, hey, what shot that
Oh, you know, because yeah.
I'm like, okay, okay, my mom.
Wow.
My mom is responsible for a lot of things, including this decision to keep the photos and cover. Because she said, Wanaka, you're not going to replace Mpo. always remember hore bana bao matches le ba hao ke ba mpho. So Mpho will forever live in their hearts.
Yeah.
Mpho will be part of their lives, even though you are part of them. So you need to with time maybe, but le how chincha hopola you are not erasing Mpho. You are changing maybe to something, but your intention shouldn't
from
be to
foundation
your intention shouldn't be to erase. You cannot erase the fact that
this
Mpho
is her
is again
foundation.
you know. So I come from work because Nikili weekend. I find this picture. Hi, okay, what happened? Okay, it's
No,
going
Why?
back.
In fact, what happened was, I wanted to surprise her.
Okay.
I took her picture, her wedding, one of her wedding pictures.
Yeah.
We were together, I think. And I enlarged it and framed it.
Okay.
And then the only place that I could hang it was there. Because it kind of, it's one of those places where you, it's there, you can see it from any direction. I still had 2 other pictures, on the side. And but then
Yeah. What happened to this?
I'm trying to be, hey,
Put it back.
put it back.
And
So
then
I
you
had
put
to
the
go-
other one.
I had
I'm
to
like,
go-
nah, this one I don't like. It doesn't complement her.
So I had to get.
Put this particular. I want this particular one there.
So
and when
I-
you put it, shift it such that Yakalwen it's next to it.
So I had to put both a picture of myself and her, and myself and my late wife next to each other, and then on the other side, one of hers, one of my late wife on the other side. Now we're running out of space here.
Wow.
But I did change.
So guess
I
what?
did change pictures.
So
I
guess
did change
what?
pictures.
All my pictures were gone. Pictures of me in the house were gone. And it actually didn't start there, because where it started was in the bedroom. Because I had on the dresser
Okay.
a picture of mine. It was a A3 kind of picture of myself one side, and A3 picture of my late wife on one side, and we kept them there. I'm in the printing business, so my kids are always there watching what I do. One day I come back from picking her up, and guess what? My picture is gone. They couldn't afford a frame.
Oh,
so
okay. Your picture.
They printed a picture of hers.
Oh man.
And took it and put it over my picture on inside the frame. So it was 2 pictures of their mummies.
Oh wow.
Sitting there. And I think that basically became part of, watching the journey of them.
Also being part of
accepting her as
you are part of.
Yeah.
Even the wedding plans that were involved.
Yeah, the wedding plans.
I saw Facebook. You could tell what they are there, and there's this picture that I like. I think you've posted mostly. I think every year you always honor, and when you honor your late wife, you always honor them together.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the polygamy.
Polygamy is good, sometimes.
And I, your story, the beautiful part of it, and when I was thinking about it, that we you would have the wife choosing the next wife.
No, I really don't think I'll go that route.
Yes, but how I feel like how from that sermon, which was like almost like identical with Mpho's sermon, to how when you proposed, how she reacted, when that choice that the wife chooses, I am choosing this person because here she is the one fighting for Mbongo. There is no. That's beautiful.
That's the story of my life, actually.
I can imagine.
But anyway, I removed some of the wedding pictures.
Okay.
Part of the walls.
Yeah.
Well, in a okay, I see the pictures. Okay, it's good. But you guys have filled up the whole house with your pictures of your wedding. These dudes, have feature anyway, they're not even in existence.
Or
The kids.
the kids, the boys. Oh man.
So can we rather remove Zena? Body groomsmen, bomam. Zena's in the passage.
Guys,
for family.
now it comes out. The pictures are not included. Sorry of it.
Now
I didn't want you to find out this way, but
it is.
So I was like, okay,
it was for the kids.
Rather, let's cut down some of the pictures and put up Zabana.
Yeah, so the Ramokgopa is
they exist in this
and
whole
it's
thing.
their home.
They have space.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah.
Wow, guys, sure, yeah, no, this story. So just before we sum it up, I was talking about love languages, you know, where there's a physical touch, there's gifts, acts of service, and all that. So what are yours? Tell me, have, and then you tell me.
I don't know.
You know, quality touch and all that just on top. So that
she's the, like I think I mentioned it. She's the physical, touchy.
Physical touch.
She's the spending time together.
Okay.
Kind of person. She's not very outgoing. She's not out there.
Okay.
She's and very spiritual.
Okay.
You know, you
so you
satisfy that.
These points
and I think I always add that when I do coaching couples, and I say, you know, when you're a couple, it's inevitable some ways, whatever, somehow you are going to disagree. You're going to have arguments and you know, don't see eye to eye.
Yeah.
What I've learned and actually passed on to others, touchy is very important. We laugh every night when we go to bed. We are the entanglement kind of, you know, with the legs all twisted like pretzels, and she always does that, and she likes snuggling up. Okay. Now, here's the problem. I am not a person limuchiso. I'm not a person limuchiso. But for some reason, I tend to be, in winter, my body tends to be warmer. Her body tends to be cold. So what she does is she snuggles, especially her feet.
You know, this will feel like it's my other guys. I don't know, you know. But anyway.
So she will coil her feet around mine, tangle her feet around mine, and it's like
Same here. That's what I'm saying. Same here. Like, so we're like, yeah, but yes, I need you to warm me. What?
And come summer. Come summer, her feet are hot. I want to be literally outside the blankets, and she wants to snuggle and
oh wow.
goes. And I always say, you know, I always say to people that touch
language
thing is important because it can tell you the emotional space that a person is in. When they're not happy with you, when they have a problem,
that connection,
as soon as you touch, they'll move away. You know? So if you can still touch and
in the midst,
then you're okay. Then you're okay. Because I'm one of those people. I'm very sensitive to emotions. Because I'm a very sensitive and emotional dude.
That's why I used to call him my big teddy bear. And I know he doesn't like it because I know when I need an emotional talk, Giro.
So I'll always say to her, look, you're not okay. What's up? Talk to me.
So it's important to know these things.
But then I would. This is what we discussed way back while courting.
Discussed.
Yeah, communication, very
Important.
important. That's my love language. To say, look, sometimes you go through something and you want to deal with it
On your own.
on your own. When I ask you, are you okay? I'm not asking because I don't see you are not okay. I'm asking because I'm opening the door for you to.
And that I see you, I feel you,
You
and
know,
I understand. I like
And it's enough for me to get a response that says, I'm not okay, but I'm dealing with it.
Yeah.
I'm not okay, but I'm not going to talk about it now. Or I'm not okay,
But know that
I'm sorting it
you.
out. You know? Because I mean there's issues but I'm shela and you know you know you know, or she has a problem at work with somebody, and I don't want to be that guy who says, you have a problem, what's funny? Quit, man, quit, get another job. No, you know, what? So what do you know? Says no, I'll handle this one. I'll deal with this one.
But the fact that you care enough to ask.
That you care enough to ask, and you know, still be able to snuggle.
Yes.
In the evening.
Wow.
This one, by the way, very naughty.
Yeah.
Guys, ningam shade. Literally.
She knows already.
One cop dude.
Why me?
No, I'm talking about this particular case. She's crossing the border.
Yeah.
And the guy won't share. You know.
You can see.
And she says, what's my get that? Hiking about that. What's this how? You go both for phone number. I'm not gonna get that deal.
Yeah.
Go both for phone number. Ulo boats.
Yeah.
Ulo boats.
Yeah.
You send that door. What I'm telling
and then when he was saving it, how
yeah.
it's only fair.
Yeah. Talk to him.
How do you like me?
Yeah.
So, like Wampona, most of the time I'm this side. Weekend.
Yes. Yeah.
So, this is what you're gonna do.
He's the best person.
He's the best person. You are gonna call him. You are going to tell him. And you guys are going to discuss it.
And agree.
Level settle timetable. And once that is done, lempe feedback, I will abide.
Hola. Nice one. That's beautiful. So back to you.
So
now.
then I saw that. Oh, yeah.
It works.
So
it works.
everywhere.
Like a chub shoulder call.
You discuss it, you finish it, I abide.
And you're like, yeah, no, this one is crazy. So on your side, his love languages.
He talks.
Good.
He prefers to talk. He's verbally expressive and emotionally as well. Much as he says I'm touchy, he's also, well, I think I'm rubbing it off because he enjoys it, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I hope. And then he's also expressive with gifts and things. So I'm the dull one.
Okay.
He doesn't even demand things. I'm broken.
But he's the one.
So
yeah.
he's the one who.
Wow.
He's expressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything that he can use to express, he does. I'm the introvert one.
Yeah. Wow. So would you say to couples that it's important that they need to know those languages and pay attention to them because they might be more the saving grace, because sometimes you don't know how to tell somebody. Like I know I'm expressive in everything, I think. But I didn't know that acts of service is the love language that I like to receive. I thought I'm the giver, where I can help you with anything. I can leave everything else and help you. But I didn't know that actually because it means that much to me. When I got to understand it means so much to me, it made slight difference where I had to, with the love language, I tried to incorporate it with the kids. For me, if I wake up and when I'm in the kitchen, you are here to help me, that's heaven for me. When I cook for you and you are here helping me, for me, you are telling me, Mommy, we appreciate you, we love you. So that, I didn't know what I wanted that. But do you think with couples, it's something that needs to be workshopped or communicated and not just leave and just be married for the sake of we staying together, share the house, share the bedroom, share the kids?
People need to communicate with each other. And by communicating, it's not yelling or arguing.
Yeah.
It's before you get to the stage of yelling and arguing. Talk things, discuss. We had things. He told me his king, plan high. This is where I want to go.
Okay.
You know, this is what I want to do. Will you come with me? You know, I came in with that in mind. Okay, this is where this thing is going. Most people go into relationships. To girls, to the female side. When you go into the relationship with a guy, you automatically think, oh, this thing is going somewhere. The guy is not there.
Their plan is totally different.
It's totally different.
Their fairy tale is like what the movie Yamahash. You know when the guy, we are like no horses and all. When are you Cinderella and stuff like
Doesn't.
So
Wow.
you need to discuss matters before you start yelling. That's all.
Yeah.
You need to discuss. Okay, this is where I am. This is where you're going. Usually, guys, they feel intimidated when a girl says, "Why?" Okay, we are shell about why. Yeah, guy can. They're
What
like,
are you-
no,
Yeah.
Also,
no, hi.
no, I need to know.
When asking me about the future, when I'm still saying hi.
I need to know okay, so that I get
Wow.
my hopes lit on.
Okay.
I shouldn't get my hopes high on something that is not
It's
going
not
anyway,
okay.
because I'm going to be thoroughly frustrated.
And that doesn't go with my personal plan.
I'm gonna be thoroughly frustrated in the relationship. You are going to be thoroughly frustrated in the relationship because you're gonna feel I'm nagging. I'm nagging, always yelling, always go battle
Because ungene with the plan, you say, I know the future.
I
And
know
when
the
are you
future.
still on step
Well, now,
one where
eh,
I'm still chilling for
I'm
2 years,
chilling.
I'm chilling. Akina letter, eki rumelang ko mang mang.
Okay, there's this other guy who was doing the shelling part. We ended up flirting, and then I didn't know where it was going at one point, but I was like, no, this is not my cup of tea. But
Yeah.
what confirmed that this is not my cup of tea was when we were talking. And he said, I've made the decision that if I were to marry, I'm going back to my particular ex.
Oh, right there.
So right there I was like,
Kena utseba, hore. You're not my ex.
Yeah.
You're not my particular ex.
you know, when you like,
I'm still there.
when you like, okay, that's my cue. Friendship, cool. Let's zone it right now.
Okay.
Let's just zone it.
Yeah. So the people don't get into.
And then 6
marriage.
months later, I get an invitation.
For me, oh! You know, they were gonna lobola while you still in the journey. Oh, guys.
You know, I even watched the wedding video, eh?
Wow.
I was invited to watch the wedding video. I saw it.
Wow. Wow.
I was like, so this is the lucky lady.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sure, guys, this
So, yeah.
story.
So you need
My
to
God.
discuss,
Yes, I do.
discuss things. I don't want things on the table. I want them on the floor. He must know that I want things on the floor, so that when they're on
Yes.
the table,
There's no, it doesn't become the issue.
an issue,
Or put it on the table on the
or
floor.
on the floor,
There's an.
you know, so that we can then meet halfway. okay, since you got that into on the floor, this
Yeah.
is what we can put on the floor and this is what we can leave on the table.
Wow.
You are both on the same page. Then you don't have to yell.
Yeah, because you won't be frustrated. But okay, I like it on the floor, but it's on the table because we agreed.
But then there's some point where you say, but then it makes sense that the things that break go on the table. So that and then they break and then they cut us. Then it's a light bulb. Oh, okay, all right. So I think people
must
communicate, and by communicating, non-verbal is also communication, but non-verbal leads to yelling, and most of the time leads to yelling and argument
because they're suppressing.
So, and I always say to him and everybody else around me, I get wala di faha. You know the beats.
Yeah.
I cannot predict what you are feeling. I cannot predict or think. So
Important.
Once I start thinking now, I'm going off a tangent.
Because that's my thinking.
That's my assumption, and it's usually wrong.
Because I'm not you at the moment. I'm thinking here, and I can't think for both of us because we're two individuals in this marriage.
So so if you need to discuss. The words are not for that purpose.
For that, they are for gift for others.
They are for something else. I don't know what they are for. They are for something else, but they are not for this.
Yes. Oh wow, guys. Sure. Wisdom right there. You know, I think in the whole story that sums it up nicely to say that's it. I love that. Wow, guys. Thank you.
When people actually said, how? Rona, we are waiting giving
for you to finish
grilling and then also tender. Repeat for tender. When all of a sudden, you know, so appointed.
And the appointment is somewhere else without even knowing.
I'm not even the CEO.
Wow, somebody is. Wow.
It was done somewhere else up there.
Sure, wow. Guys, thank you so much. I know sharing personal life and personal stories and ways for the social media to go out there, I know it will be the blessing for other people because there might be people who are in your position or still going to be in your position, and this will help them to say, actually, things do happen. I nearly went on the S word, but it can be heavy, it can be difficult, but when there's a union, you believe in it, you go and you go on with it. And I just love the wisdom of I've had it before, but not normally when people will say lightly replacement and all that, but I just love what you brought. It's very new to me, where as women, even with the exes, we always want to come there and be better than the other person, and you are saying, guys, whatever that has been there has been there. When you come, that person is their journey, is the foundation. Move on with it, build on it, and that for me is a big takeaway. So then, Ramokgopas, thank you so much for spending the time and coming all this way to have conversations with Upumzile on our platform. Please, guys, subscribe, comment, and you counseling, marriage counselors workshops. I'm gonna bring them back with different topics because they didn't know this, but I'm gonna hold on and hug them. So yes, I'm gonna hug you guys for more so that we discuss different topics and then we can help each other together. I feel this is what it is, why we are here today.
Anytime.
Thank you.
It's just that I'm not a YouTuber.
You're gonna be now.
Ooh.
Yes, we're gonna.
Who knows? I might start a channel.
Yes. Yeah, you had it fast. You had it here fast. Guys, thank you.
Already does the stuff.
Oh, yes. Oh, thank you. When we're saying bye, this is going to be sit tight, listen, watch, and enjoy. Thank you. And bye.